Welcome back, everybody, to Champ and Sons and our Houston Texans Madden 21 franchise. What you got to see earlier was a clip of the game against the Cincinnati Bengals, some of the highlights, as we did win that one because we wanted to hurry up and get to and highlight our final game of the season against the Tennessee Titans. As you can see, we are number 6 in our division right now, and this is going to be a battle for a playoff spot. If we lose, we could be out of these playoffs for good and season over. And we've got a tough test ahead of us, okay? We got to look at Nick Martin coming back from injury. He is a 73 overall, while Greg Mance is 61. But if we can win and make it to the playoffs, I cannot risk having Nick Martin coming off injured. And if you look, Mance has only allowed 1 sack in the multiple games he's been in, while Nick Martin has allowed 5. So he may be a 61 overall, but he's doing very well for himself. And so that's going to be kind of a big thing coming into this game is, one, can we run the ball? How well are we going to hold up against the Titans offense? We do have an X factor coming up, not for us, but one that we're facing in Derrick Henry, who's just a beast with the ball. And so that's something that we're going to have to be challenged with. And as our defense has been, we're normally, when it comes to turnovers, we're at about the 30th out of the league. So we're not last, but we're staying close to it. And so that's something that obviously in our scouting we've been focusing on, but we can't completely ignore the offensive side. So I do look at some wide receivers. But I think we got a pretty good handle on our wide receivers. Right, with Randall Cobb, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks. That's a pretty dynamic trio of receivers that we got. And so we can roll forward with those guys. We have Fuller re-signed this season to about a 4 or 5 year contract. So we'll be good to go for the next couple in that area. But defense has been a struggle all season. We are near the last, like I said, in turnover ratio. We are near the last against pass. Against the run, we're really good, actually. But last against pass and turnover ratio at the bottom, so that's not where we need to be. And so for this game, we just wanted to focus on beating the Titans. Derrick Henry, he's going to get his yards. If he gets a touchdown, fine. I just want to win this game. And so we are going to jump into our Week 17 game here against the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee will start out with the ball for this game. In their opening drive, their opening plays, a little end around to Humphreys, who's going to get stuffed in the backfield. We've been playing really well against the rush. That's kind of one reason why I just disregarded Derrick Henry. Like I said, he's going to get his yards. And if he gets a score, so be it. But we need to play all-around solid defense in this game to have a chance. I say, if we lose, we're probably going to be out of these playoffs. So this is a must-win. And here they come with Henry. He's going to get some big rushing lanes right off the right side and get about 9 yards or so. Pretty much 10. But probably should have been a first down. They're going to call it 3rd and inches. And this is where we have to step up. We've done well these last few weeks. Since the midway point of the season, we have gone 6-1 since the midway point. And it's because of plays like that where we do get Derrick Henry stopped and we do force Tennessee to punt the ball that we've been able to make this turnaround. And on our first play, we start spreading the ball out wide, get some guys moving. We have a little bit of a speed advantage versus their defense. We did not highlight in the first game against them where we lost 17-10, but we're definitely going to try to make that a point of focus here in this game. And on our second play, we run it. We had a big hole, but it did close up pretty quick, a little bit down the field with the linebackers closing in. And that's going to bring us to a 3rd and 1. And Deshaun Watson has 29 pass TDs on the season. Now, unfortunately, he also has 26 interceptions. So not the greatest, but we can call that some shoddy throws on my part. Unlike that one, which he hits Randall Cobb on the slant pattern, dropping it in perfectly for the big first down. And now a little bit later in the drive, we find ourselves with a 2nd and 7 from the 24. And we'll hit Fuller coming across on the drag route. He's going to get the ball down to about the 9-yard line. bringing us to our first goal-to-go situation of this game. This is a must-need conversion. We must start getting points here. And we're going to go ahead and look at, we need to mix up the run and pass. We cannot become too predictable. That's kind of what we've done in seasons before, or games before, I mean. And so we're going to try to start mixing up with our formations coming from the pistol. We kind of had a hole, but I shot myself to the left with the sprint button, so I couldn't recover and cut it back over to the right. If I could have gotten around that backer and off to the right side, we would have been in for the touchdown. Easy peasy. So our next play, we're going to run a screen pass. See if we can't get some blocking out front from here. They don't bring any pressure, unfortunately, and so they do have extra men available on the tackle. And as everybody knows, the screen pass blocking is kind of shoddy. So that gives us 3rd and goal from the 5. Big time down. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end from the shotgun. Watson with DJJ to his left. We're going to make some play calls, some hot route changes. Watson will take the snap and we'll throw it into Fuller, who's going to catch it for the touchdown. Houston. We jump out to a big 7-0 lead. And now a little bit later in the drive after Tennessee got the kickoff, they find themselves at a 2nd and 3. Tannehill running like he's Lamar Jackson, but he's fumbling like he's Deshaun Watson. And we will recover that fumble down at our own 30-yard line. The first takeaway of the game. Turnover comes to ours. We are going to be holding this one strong. We're going to be playing smart, getting big hits on the quarterback on that one. We did let him get way too many yards on that option, and I'm not sure why you would run the option with Tannehill to begin with, but that's Madden for you. It's unconventional, as they say. So, on the ensuing drive, our first play from the shotgun, Watson's going to dump it off to Fuller, again coming from right to left, and he gets another big gain for us. Watson is 7 for 7 for 81 yards in this game so far. Now, at the start of the second quarter, we find ourselves still at the 7-0 lead at the 5-yard line. Watson takes the snap from the shotgun, rolls to the right, and I heave it back to an open Fuller, but he just can't come down with it. And that was actually Brandon Cooks, my mistake. He just couldn't come down with it. It's kind of a foolish throw, but at the time I threw it, at least he was open and he just had to make that leap. It happens. So 3rd and 3 from the 5. Watson drops back, rolls out to his left, and there's going to be nobody there, and we are going to end up taking that sack, which is probably safer because whenever we get sacked, we don't really fumble that much. And so we got that going for us. It's whenever we start scrambling, it becomes kind of a problem. And so on the very next play, we will kick the field goal, but there's a flag roughing the kicker. We have life again, ladies and gentlemen. That's an automatic first down at the 4-yard line. Tennessee, they are playing like a team that is 6-8-1, while we are playing like a team that is 16-15-0 maybe. That's how we're playing right now. And so here we go. Getting set. 1st and goal from the 4. Watson in the shotgun. Hands it off to DJJ, who will power himself in for the rushing touchdown. 14-0 lead for Houston. Now on the ensuing drive, Tennessee will take over. And J.J. Watt getting past his man, getting a tackle, allowing only 2 yards on that rush. We have been keeping Derrick Henry bottled up early in this game. Look at that, their coach not knowing what to do. I can't believe they're stopping Henry, is what he's thinking to himself right now. And on the 2nd down play, we can't stop Henry a 2nd time in a row. Kind of deflating, but he does get a big first down rush as he has 7 attempts for 37 yards, which is most of Tennessee's offense. So now with a 1st and 10, Tennessee will take the ball. Tannehill under center. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. Hands it off to Henry again, who's going to get a big hole. And he's starting to break tackles, which is not very good for us. He got 7 yards on that rush, and we're going to have to tighten ourselves up a little bit more. Now on 2nd and 3, they're going to send Henry in motion. They do the play action, and we're not able to get to him. They pick up the blocking. With the first tackle attempt, he shoves us off, but we do bring him down with Hargraves and Cunningham. And the second attempt, and that will stop him after it looks like about a loss of a couple yards. That'll give them to a 3rd and 5 here in this game. And they have not been able to move the ball, so they need these conversions, and we have got to stop them. So now 3rd and 5, Tannehill from the shotgun. And he'll take the snap, and we start getting some pressure on him, but he releases it, and we intercept the ball. Carling's going to get the interception, and he's going to get tackled at the 47-yard line. Turnover number 2, Mr. Garyon Conley with his 5th interception of the season. He has stepped up big since getting his new contract. There's Tyquan Lewis coming out into the field. He's been playing well these last few weeks after he got his new contract as well. Getting him from free agency, he stepped up big for us and been a force when we needed him. And we will take over possession here with our 1st and 10. And we're going to play action pass. We're getting somebody open, and we get the pass interference call after throwing it to a pretty covered up Randall Cobb. Probably should have dumped that off to DJJ. But no matter, because we got a 1st down anyways. And so we will now have a new set of downs starting at the 46. And coming from the pistol formation, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. We do the draw play, and we get a pretty decent gain on that one. For 4 yards on a 1st down run. And DJJ having himself a pretty decent game with the score. And he's averaging about 3 to 4 yards per rush. And so now on a 2nd and 6, 4 wide from the shotgun. And Watson's going to drop back. We roll to the left. And we have to throw it away. We had nobody open. We kind of solidified ourselves on the left side with only having our tight end there. But he was tightly covered at this moment. So that will bring up a 3rd and 6 from the 41. We are needing to maintain momentum. And so we're going to call a screen pass. And it's a perfect play. We get some good blocking out there, which is rarely ever seen. And we got a big play on that one down to the 26-yard line with DJJ. Deshaun Watson has over 120 passing yards and 1 touchdown. Now a little later in our drive, we have ourselves a 1st and 10 from the 11. Watson in the shotgun. He drops back, and he's going to run it with it. And we're going to try to get it out wide, and we're just not able to fight in for the touchdown. Just short, down at the 1-yard line. Mr. Watson doing it with his feet, doing it with his arm. A jack of all trades, if you will. Surprised we didn't fumble, to be honest with you. We tend to fumble on that one. And with only 3 feet to go, we're going to hand it off to our fullback. Give himself a little taste of the glory. And we're going to be in goal line formation, hand it off, and power it home for the touchdown, Houston. 21-0 lead. That is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. On the ensuing drive, J.J. Watt says, "Not today, Mr. Henry. I salute your effort, but not today." As he delivers a monstrous hit in the backfield, stopping him for a 2-yard loss. Boom, just laying him out. Just get off the tracks when the train's coming through, as they say. And on the very next play, they hand it back off to Henry. He's going to get past Watt and kind of take McKinney for about a 2-yard little hike on that one. That'll bring up a big 3rd and 9. We have got all momentum in this game. We cannot allow them to come back. We have come back from almost 21 down, so it's very easy for the computer to do so as well. And with that coverage, they get a big play. We deliver the hit, but he's not able to jar the ball loose, and Davis comes through big. That's all they can do for Tennessee, though, as they do end up having to punt it back to us. And we will take over and deliver a nice pass on the in route to Brandon Cooks for a big gain down to the 41-yard line. Our defense has stepped up big, and it's time for our offense to repay the favor. And so now we have a 1st and 10 from the 41. Trying to look to mix it up as far as keeping our runs, our passes. Are we running with the back? Are we running it with the receiver? You'd never know with how we're doing things these days. It's kind of contributed to our fast-flowing, smooth operating offense. And Cobb will get around the outside, but their linebacker is speedy. He catches up and takes Cobb down after about a 4-yard gain. I mean, my goodness. And now with just over 4 minutes to go, we are still in the first half, leading by 21. 2nd and 6 from the pistol. We're going to hand it off to DJJ on the left side, who's going to get stopped as our linebacker gets right past our tight end, Akins, and he's able to make the sack. That was Mr. Landry bringing us down behind the line of scrimmage. So now we have a big 3rd and 11. 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. Needing to make something happen. Just from the shotgun. Watson takes a snap. And we have Cobb coming across. Oh, that was Fuller on the motion. He comes across and makes a big catch for us as he delivers on that first down. So now a little later in the drive, just about 1 minute remaining in the half. We're going to throw it out to Cobb on the screen pass again, and he will get out of bounds this time, stopping the clock with a minute to go from the 7-yard line. So a 2nd and 5 from the 7. We only need 5 yards to get the first down. We don't have to score right now. But where would the fun in that be? We are going to go 4 wide. Kiki QT on the right in the slot. And Watson drops back, and we try to hit QT, and thankfully that was not intercepted. That's an example of the foolish passes that I've tried to throw with Watson that's resulted in so many interceptions. So now with a 3rd and 5, needing to play smart and not give away points with a turnover. Watson will drop back to pass. They're bringing the pressure. Watson rolls to the right, and there's a hole wide open. Watson walks through easily and takes us to halftime with a 28-0 lead. We have the shutout going. We are beating them in all phases of the game. 178 passing yards, 173 rushing yards, or 73 rushing yards, and the multiple turnovers. Now here comes the important part. Checking on this game that we need Indy to lose. They are tied at 7 here at the half. And if we can get Indy to lose and we pull off the win, we will take our division and go into the playoffs with a home game. And the next game we're going to look at from around the nation is the Saints blowing out the Carolina Panthers. And why it shows the Saints as 7-7, I don't know. This is week 17. It's a Madden thing, I guess. Now, going all the way up to Buffalo, New York, the Bills, 8-7, are leading Miami, that's 5-9, out of the playoffs. And the Bills are trying to solidify their spot. And so now to start the second half, we will have the ball, and we miss on the first pass. Deshaun Watson been pretty accurate all day, having 182 passing yards and a touchdown. He just was not able to come through and connect on that one to Cobb. Now from the shotgun again, 4 wide receivers. And we're going to hand it off to DJJ, who's only going to get a few yards. Had the hole, but somehow their tackle closed that gap insanely rapid. That now brings us to a 3rd and 9 here to start our drive in the 3rd quarter. And Watson from the pistol. 3 receivers left, Fuller to the right. Watson will drop back. And we're going to hit Cobb coming over the middle with a big gain all the way to the 40-yard line and a massively needed first down. But that is all that we do as we end up turning the ball over with an interception, and Houston now has a little bit of life as they have the ball at the 22-yard line, and we catch up with them on their 2nd down play. So 2nd and 9 from the 22 for Tennessee after the turnover. Can they capitalize and start the comeback? They're going to hand it off as Henry has a massive hole on the right and makes a man miss. And he finally gets brought down after three Texans catch up to him and bring him down at the 5-yard line. They now have a 1st and goal from the 5. Tannehill in the shotgun. He's going to play action, and we get him stopped. Cunningham off the left edge. What a brilliant play for Cunningham, bringing Tannehill down, allowing only 1 yard. So now it's 2nd and goal from the 4. 2 tight ends left. Tannehill under center. He's going to hand it off to Henry, who gets some movement going and powers his way for another yard, but we were able to wrangle him up. So 3rd and goal from the 3. Tennessee from the shotgun, 2 wide receivers left, 2 tight ends right. Henry in the backfield. And they're going to go ahead and they hand it off to Henry, who jukes some guys left, but Cunningham steps up big, bringing him down at the 2-yard line, as that will force them to kick a field goal and we now lead by 25 at 28-3. On the ensuing drive, we get a big run from DJJ up the left side of the line, as he has now reached 50 yards in this game with that big run. We cannot move away from the pass game that tends to happen to us, and that's when we kind of falter, meant the run game. We tend to move away from the run game, even whenever we're leading. And right now, I'm really just trying to make sure that nobody gets hurt, and so that's kind of the biggest thing for us. Now from the pistol, 2 tight ends. We hand it off to DJJ off the right side. He's going to make a man miss, and he's going to finally get brought down after a couple yards. He has 54 yards and a touchdown on the day. And so now it's 2nd and 8. We're going to bring Fuller in motion again. It looks like they're bringing the pressure. And Fuller's going to come, and we're going to snap the ball. And they do. They have the blitz coming in, so we hit Fuller over the middle, and he's going to get away from his man. He's at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown, Houston. He goes sliding into the end zone. What a big play for Houston. Fuller with a 58-yard touchdown reception, and that'll bring the score to 35-3. We knew this game we had to win to get in the playoffs, and our boys are wanting it. They are fighting hard. Watt busts through the line. He's not able to get the tackle, but he disrupts everything enough to bring Henry down after a 2-yard gain on the very next play. So now with a 2nd and 8, Tennessee from their own 12-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Henry, and we're going to kind of track him down with J.J. Watt, but it's going to end up being Reed, our free safety, that makes the tackle on that one. Because for some reason, Watt just decided he had enough and just didn't want to make the tackle, I guess. So now 3rd and 4. Tannehill in the shotgun. We bring the pressure, and we do not get to him, and he heaves it, but we're going to be able to knock it down, and that will end their drive. So now on the ensuing drive near the end of the 3rd quarter, we are leading 35-3, and we find ourselves all the way down. It started at the 26, and we get a big pass play to Brandon Cooks, who makes a safe catch and is down at the 2-yard line. And that will bring up 1st and goal from the 2. So y'all know what we're going to do. You know what we're going to do. We got 2 to the left, Watson in the shotgun, 2 tight ends right. We're going to try to hit Cooks coming across the middle. And we're going to roll to the right, and we're going to throw it to Cooks, but we're going to throw it to some guy named number 29, Crookshank, in the Tennessee jersey, because that's what we do here at Houston. All right, we give gifts, okay? The next play on the ensuing drive by Tennessee, they're going to call the perfect screenplay as we bring a big blitz on a big 3rd down, and they get all the way down to the 6. We still have a 32-point lead. It's still 35-3. There's a little bit less than 13 minutes to go, but we want to try to keep them out of the end zone nonetheless. On the 2nd play for the 1st and goal. And they are going to get stuffed, kind of, not really in the backfield, but pretty dang close to it. See, we are ranked 30th in the league when it comes to takeaways because our differential is so bad. But today we are on point with having 3 takeaways already. So now it's 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Henry again, who's going to power, and we get him stopped. Scarlett and Watkins team up for the stop at the 1-yard line, bringing up a big 3rd and goal. They're going power left with 1 wide receiver to the right. Tannehill is going to take the snap, and he's going to get sacked big time. J.J. Watt coming through for the 1st sack of the game. All the way back to the 4-yard line, bringing up 4th and goal. This is their last chance to try and get a touchdown on us. And will we allow it? I really hope not. They're coming with the shotgun. 3 left. Henry in the backfield. I have a feeling they're going to try to run it with Henry. And I'm foolish as I do a quick pass, and we will knock that ball away from them. We will knock it away. They do not score, and that will turn the ball over on downs. So in our ensuing drive from the 4-yard line, Watson will hand it off. We'll cut it back to the right and get some decent yardage on that little cutback play. As DJJ's got 63 yards on 20 rushes, averaging just about 3 yards per rush. Now for the 2nd and 4. 10 minutes to go. Needing this clock to just tick down second by second. And they're going to hand it off, and we're going to get a big first down on that one from DJJ as our drive will continue. And look at it. Our drive goal is we have to pound the rock for 3 times with Johnson, so that's not that hard to complete, especially when you have a big lead and he's able to run like he's been doing. And so now Johnson off the left side, Mr. DJJ getting himself 4 yards on that play, bringing up a 2nd and 6 from the 19, just under 9.5 minutes to go. And so what are we going to do? That's right, hand it off again. Going off the left side from the pistol formation. We hand it off to him. There's a small little hole, and we power through. And DJJ will not go down as he gets another first down run on that play. All heart, all effort, comparable to little Rudy Rudiger of Notre Dame, who died after the big game, I think. King of the Hill reference. If you don't get it, we can never be friends. And so now on the following play, after a little bit of a lag time and everything starts to kind of blow up some, DJJ with a big run up the right side for another massive first down. We are to the 37-yard line. There's now 8 minutes to go. We've moved 33 yards and worked about 3.5 to 4 minutes off this clock, and it is just ticking down. It is just ticking away. Our hope, our dreams of the playoff berth, of a Super Bowl title are still alive at this time. DJJ gets stuffed on that run. He has 25 rushes for 88 yards and a touchdown. And we are going to continue to try to keep on powering this ball forward, just working that clock little by little. So now we're going to go 4 wide, spread them out a little bit so that way it kind of makes things easier to open up in the middle. And they hand it off, but they read us perfectly. We've run this play, I don't know how many times in this game, because it's one of our most successful run plays. And even if you see it coming, it's normally pretty hard to stop, but not on that one. So now we have a big third down play coming up at 3rd and 11, 6.5 minutes to go in this game. And as you can see by the score line, Indy is leading their game, and so we are needing to hope that Jacksonville can come back as Indy leads 21-13. Watson with no quit in his effort as he goes running up the right side. And that'll basically do it. We don't perform anything else that's very great. Tennessee does get a touchdown, so the score does end up being 35-10. But I wanted y'all to see that kneel down because that was the final play of the regular season. We are victorious. We went 6-1 at the halfway point. We are now 7-1, 10-6 on the season. I don't know if you saw that, but Indy ended up blowing out Jacksonville. So we are just holding on to strings that we can maintain the 6th seed and hopefully at least get a wild card spot in these playoffs. And we had our defense stepped up big time in this one. Could not ask for them to play any better. They got 3 turnovers, held Tennessee to 247 passing yards and 101 rushing yards. Well, we had 281 passing and 175 rushing. That is how you handle an X-factor individual. And so now we are going to cut it to the locker room here shortly. And to be honest, I'm just taking a breather at that point. That was intense. I was on ice skates the whole time. And once we get in there, we see our backup center, Nick Mance, has got an upgrade point as he increases his awareness, pass block finesse, and run block finesse. So not too shabby by him either. Let's see, what do we get for our game day goal of beating the Tennessee Titans? We get a 500 XP boost for our defensive line. That's pretty decent. I will take it. And so now we need to see what ends up happening with the Colts and the seeding. I noticed it didn't update anything. Still shows them at 9-6, so we do have to advance the week. to see what actually happens there. And here we go. Fingers crossed that we're able to make it in. Take a deep breath, ladies and gentlemen. This is the moment we've been waiting for, and we are in. We have a playoff game, a wild card matchup against the Colts, the rubber match for the ages. These games have come down to a total of 6 points in victory, one game each, and we cannot wait to get to that in our next episode. Thank y'all for joining us. Please remember to subscribe if you have not already, and hit that thumbs up button if you liked today's video, and stay tuned for our playoff run. So I'll see y'all later. As always, stay safe, and, well, you know how it goes. Later, everybody.